Hello everyone, welcome back to FPL Jedi Show. This is Gameweek 27 pod. My name is Hafiz and I would like to welcome Azmin to the stream. How's your feeling, Azmin? Definitely a great one because Liverpool won the Carabao Cup. You're on mute, Min.
It's a crap fantasy week for me, but Liverpool have got a cup, and the way that they won it, I got to be happy with that. So it's all good. It's all good.
All right, great stuff. Game week 26 was a so-called a blank game week for certain team. There are four teams that have not played: Chelsea, Liverpool for sure, Spurs, and also Luton Town. And we saw that I think a good one, man. A match in terms of Chelsea Liverpool is a tight one. Yes, Liverpool had more chances. Definitely, the game was gone to extra time. I was hoping like a penalty shootout, but it's not meant to be. A great goal from VVD. Disallowed in the first half or the second half? But deservedly, VVD got the goal that needed for Liverpool to win the first cup of the season.
Yeah, I got to give credit to VVD for keeping on and helping the kids along the way and pretty much captaining the Liverpool to victory. And I don't know if we're gonna go into detail, but I just want to give props to Kelleher, who had our backup keeper, who had an awesome game. And it was great that when I look at that, I realize um, we have got good backup, because it does look like Alisson might be out for quite a while as well. Yeah,
Right.
For injury. So Kelleher is going to have to step up, and so far he's done the job. So yeah.
All right. In terms of IPL, also you got Kelleher on your side, so definitely a good thing because you brought him somewhere earlier of the season, and then after that, Alisson came back, and now he is Alisson is injured right now, and Kelleher will definitely got his spot now.
Yep. So keeping him.
All right. So basically, why we are actually live tonight. The normal that we do our stream is on Wednesday night, but we decided to do today. It's because we want to confirm all the FA Cup results, and we already know who qualified to the quarterfinals matches. And with that results, also we know the Game Week 29 fixture because we want to plan that, and we will touch on that later, man. But in terms of FA Cup results, Liverpool gone through at the Chelsea. There is no surprises. Can I say that? Because we thought we want to see some upsets that going to disrupt the Game Week 29 fixture and maybe more than 4 fixture. But it turns out it was expected, right, man? What do you think, man?
Yeah, no real surprises. The Nottingham Forest, Manchester United went through, setting up a interesting Liverpool versus Manchester United match as well. Then Brighton versus West Ham. Brighton ended up winning that one. So those are that was probably the matchup where we weren't sure how that was going to go. Yeah, but in the end, Brighton triumphed.
Actually, Wolves versus Brighton. Wolves won that game.
Sorry.
So after that, Wolves qualified to the quarterfinal.
Sorry. Wolves versus Brighton. So a lot of people taking stick with Gary O'Neill for that match because they thought that that's because he didn't field a full strength team, the starting lineup, but in the end they still prevailed. The only unfortunate there is that Huang might be injured, so that's something that is he fit.
Right, let's jump straight to Game Week 27 fixture, man, and onwards. We definitely see how our team perform in Game Week 26, some stats, and then we will take a look at the Game Week 29 fixtures who has been confirmed. What's in our mind moving forward? The players to target in Game Week 27 to 29. For sure, the Game Week 27 fixture this week, it is gonna be a normal week. But our mind will be on Gaming 29, the captain pick for this week, and also transfer plan. And you can see on the right side, man. Congratulations, the EFL Cup winners, Liverpool, and you can see the faces of VVD, Gakpo, and McAllister there.
Yeah. I think, yeah, I mean that one, as much as it's great to see them there, because that kind of picture should have someone like Bradley on it, to represent the youngsters who help carry Liverpool through. So yeah, but anyway, yeah, still all good.
All right. For my team, I scored 65 points, but actually I took a -4. So it's a 61 points. But considering average point in game week 26 was 46 points, so I can consider I scored on the high side for game week 26. I can see on the Twitter or even community, most of the managers scored around 50 plus a bit. So means that if let's say I can score 60 points, then it should be a good game week. Despite I'm going for the FOMO Huang Hichan, which is, if I'm right, the most transferred in game week 26, around 700,000 managers who brought that Korean striker in. And as you can see, despite Wolf facing Sheffield United at the bottom of the league, but Hichan blank. I think that's the
I
most
mean, yeah,
significant.
because Wolves ended up winning. It's just it was not the overwhelming victory that most of us were thinking, because
Expected.
against Sheffield. Yeah, so the best pick out of that was, might have been Alt Nouri, someone.
Yep,
So
yep,
clean sheet
yep,
and assisted the goal. Yeah, but
yep,
hey, it is what it is. It does happen.
yep. So with that, my 61 points, I jumped from 69k to 57k. I'm delighted with that. Hopefully, I can move forwards. So I just ran through a bit in my teams. I got Arula over Dubravka. Okay, fine. 2 points over Neil, better. And I finally got that clean sheet from Ake, because I brought him in game week 25, hoping that he scored double digit, but it's not meant to be.
Yeah,
But this is the week that I'm going to get that reward. 6 point there.
yeah,
Arsenal did not keep the clean sheet despite winning big against Newcastle. Gabriel only 2 points. If you have Saliba, I think only 2 points. But I think I'm going to dedicate this week to my hero, Brentwaite, from defender Everton, who you actually text me, man, because I actually overslept. And Everton scored in a 1-1. Yeah, is it? Yeah, 1-1 draw. Okay, and Braithwaite actually scored a spectacular goal. I'm surprised that now that Braithwaite, my investment to him, yeah, it's not that expensive. Only 4 million when I bought him, but he come ticking, and these 9 points is very crucial in this my game week 26 points. Other than that, Taylor only 1 point. Yeah, I'll take 1 point instead of 0 point. Foden. Okay, if you have KDB, you'll be frustrated. If you have Alvarez, you'll be frustrated also. And Foden got the 11 points, double digit. So I missed that 20 points in game week. Is it 24? Yeah, I think so. Or 23. That he's got that high trick with 20 points, and I left him on my bench. But he got me the 11 points that matters in this blank game week. And Saka, another one. Another double digit, 3 double digit in a row. His 4th double digit in 5 games. So he keep taking, and Saka looks essential in Arsenal squad. He can blank. Watkins also instrumental. Aston Villa 4-2 wins, but he did not get any bonus point. Only 1 goal and 1 assist, because Douglas Luiz is a star in that game. Solanke, I brought him because for the future, but he's doubtful right now, maybe. And disappointing, Haaland only an assist again, Bournemouth. And if you actually gone for other captaincy like Saka and Watkins, kudos, you got the extra points, man. You're on mute, man.
but at the end of the day, who did? Because it was a double game week, so chances are that they won't. Especially when you had the likes of Manchester City having a double game week and Liverpool having a double game week. So chances are weren't likely going to captain a single game week player, given the matchups were also not so bad either. So you got to give credit to the single gamers stepping up. Saka, especially Saka, who's single-handedly been responsible for my rank drop, as well. But other than that, you got I mean, Foden was a scored and Haaland assist. That was the main contributor to that. That's end up with Foden. So congratulations on that. So your double gamers were Ake, Foden, Haaland. Is that it?
This is not this single game week. Mean the 25 is last week.
Sorry. Oh my God! This is the single game. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm so getting
no Liverpool players.
Noise. Yeah. So yeah. My bad. Yeah. So but it was hard. So those who did end up captaining Saka instead of Haaland, I gotta give props to that regardless, even in a single game week.
Right. Let's go to your team, man. A bit struggling in game week 26, mate. Only 39 points.
Yep. So this is aftermath. Okay. So now I guess we can talk a bit about the aftermath of the double game week and then the week after. So I wasn't really sure what I wanted to do, and so I ended up first selling to bring in Alex Moreno. Yeah, as the Aston Villa defender, I needed because to replace Pedro Porro, who's injured, and my other transfer, and this was done quite late, where I actually ended up selling Palmer because I wasn't trying to figure out who to sell. I wanted to keep Barkley for the upcoming double game week, so I ended up selling Palmer. So Neto. So we don't know that will be good or bad. We'll have to see what happens. But unfortunately, Neto himself, just like your Huang Hee-chan, so because I haven't checked the stats, so again, I've ended up for the rogue pick, compared to the Huang Hee-chan popular pick. So let's see how that pans out. It's obviously a failure for both of us this week. Let's see how it pans out. Now, Gross continues to contribute, so no, and nice to see Iwobi finally coming. So just for the record, Gross and Iwobi getting me those points were like right at the end of both of their respective matches. So it's like Iwobi gold and Gross assist, and the Gross assist ended up because he had a yellow card. So, but then the Gross assist ended up propelling him in terms of bonus points. So he ended up topping the bonus points over Dunk, who was the goal scorer. So credit to that, of course. But of course, the better play was still on your side, which was Brentwaite in that match. Brighton, it was versus Everton. And
can you imagine if I said Dunk or Cross did not get that goal, and Brentford could actually get a higher points, a clean sheet somewhere, right?
We have a clean sheet, to boot because he did score first. Right? Everton did score first. Okay, so I want to talk about KDB, Haaland, Watkins, and Tony, and how Tony ended up as my captain. Okay, because if you remember, leading up to this, in the midweek of the double game week, KDB didn't see play, was benched in the second game of the double game week before. So I had my set that KDB was going to be my captain. He's going to play, he's going to start, and he's going to get me my points. So that on Saturday I was really busy, so I really didn't have time to look at things, what was going on. And then towards, I think if you look at my transfer activity, towards the end of it, I suddenly realized that I found out that KDB was not going to start.
Okay.
So I mean, I think I was like 5 minutes in or something, and I panicked, and then end up, who do I captain? And I captained Tony, and then I was, what am I doing? Is Tony really the right captain? It was against West Ham, and West Ham have been rubbish. So I was really having second thoughts. I was thinking, okay, I was looking at switching. To be fair, I guess it was good that I didn't switch because I may have ended up with Neto. So I mean, not we're slightly better, but no big shakes on the same of things. All I knew is I didn't think Haaland was going to score, so I didn't want to captain him. Yeah. So unfortunately, West Ham, as you know, ended up finally recovering with a bang with a Bowen hat trick, which we'll talk about later. So I ended up with a Tony captaincy. Yeah, but in any case, this stretch of matches, since the building up to the game week 25 double game week and the aftermath, which is game week 26, it's quite a lot of series of errors in terms of picks. So let's see how we go with um, moving on. I'm just going to have to take it as a hit and hopefully that the people who I have can maintain, which is Barkley and Doty, who I maintained for that game week 28, hopefully they will come good. So jury is out.
All right. I just want to mention your two heroes. Ross continue to deliver. So I think if I compare points where we decided who to bring in, Gross versus Richardson, Gross could actually outscore Richardson coming to this game. You can see it could be. I think if total up because Richardson already blanked twice and did not play in this game week. So Gross keep continue, then that one I have to submit for you. And finally, you will be coming back from that African Cup Nations and scored that 10 points when it matters because you do not have enough players to fill
It's
in this.
interesting because you know we had both. I also had Son and Salah. So and before the whole AFCON thing, I ended up selling Salah the first week and then Son the other or the other way around. But UOB I ended up keeping all throughout. So it's good that
Yeah.
comes back and delivers. So I'm that. But also I just want to quickly mention Estupinian. So again, he didn't start. So that's going to be a problem, and plenty of us out there who do have him as well need to decide. Is it done and dusted? Is that it for him? Because it does look and there's also the Europe match coming along soon. So if you have space, you might have to ditch him if the starting uncertainty is no longer there.
Just want to point out one more. Aston Villa defense. You bring in Alex Moreno, also in mind for getting. I think it's just unlucky. To be frank, -1. You just never know. I think he got a yellow card, right? So and and some more. If it's someone from Aston Villa defense, I think I'm going to bring him first over Pau because he has more attacking threat. But it is what it is. Pau also injured. Looks like injured, but
Again,
I'm not sure. Is that one really unlucky that I can say. But if these two players can be fit until game week 29, I'm going to keep them. All right. Let's go a bit on stats. Game week 26 mean we already touched about the most captain, Haaland, only 5 points. But if you go to Watkins and Saka, 955,000 who captain Watkins and 472,000 media who captain Saka. I salute them because there's always reason. They have the fixture. Watkins first Forest, Saka playing Newcastle, who has been conceding, and if I'm right, they are most in terms of expected goal conceded are at the bottom. So means that all stats showing that Saka could actually deliver and continue to do that. The only thing, Haaland 6 million, despite these 5 points. Later we talk about captaincy. The midweek FA Cup 6-2 against Luton Town with Haaland scored 5 goals would definitely change people's mind when talk about captaincy this week for sure. and
guess who assisted most of those goals?
It's KDB, right?
Baby. KDB.
Yeah. So people like you who have KDB now might need to rethink. Maybe I should have followed him for another game for this week. It could be. And for the blank game week 26, most bought players. The curse continue. Huang 750,000 managers. He blanks, but
Oh, okay. I think we may have lost Hafiz there. So, yeah. So Huang blanked, and whereas the two second and third most bought players, Watkins and Saka, both scored. So I guess I guess it goes to show, but it's interesting to see those who didn't have Saka have brought him in, who corrected themselves and brought in Saka for this game week. So that's you got to give credit to that, and of course you see those who got Watkins who because obviously they weren't the players that people were talking about because on content creator, presumably because most people already had them. So credit to those who didn't have them and decided to bring them in. Also especially for Saka, because when Saka, they were playing against Newcastle, so Newcastle are not exactly a poor side, but Saka, but in the end, Arsenal, who are in such super form at the moment, I could say, especially Saka, and credit to those who bought Saka against Newcastle, because that's nice 10 points just like that. Yeah, and 4-1 victory. You got the with Saka scoring as well. Are you okay now, Hafiz?
All right.
Can you hear me?
Okay, I just want to give a shout out to Brian who actually on stream and also Navaraj. Thank you for joining the stream. Let's take a look at team of the week, man.
Yep, let's go.
As we mentioned, that if I did not bring Huang or other content creator or whoever community did not bring Huang, most likely you'll be thinking about Aston Villa and West Ham midfield who perform better definitely. Douglas Lewis is the one that people are thinking, but the most performed player in Game Week 26, the forgotten man, Mr. Jared Bowen, finally struck when people don't care about him. He scored that hat trick, 3 goals. First hat trick, if I'm right, in his career. Hat trick, 3 bonus point, 20 sweet points if you have Bowen. I think around 17% who still own Bowen. So kudos to you. All right. And other than that, I already mentioned about Douglas Lewis. But I just also want to mention about his counter part. Leon Bailey with 12 points. If you have that Douglas Lewis, Bailey, and Watkins going attack, then you got those points. Other than that, in this team of the week, you mentioned about Anori, man. No Wolves player there. Anori scored, produced an assist, kept a clean sheet, and 3 bonus points. So easily he got that 12 points. Emerson, yeah, maybe not likely people going there, but he actually produced in this game. I think he scored one and assist one, if I'm right. West Ham against Brentford. And then, manager bounced back in terms of new manager. Crystal Palace have a new manager, Glasner. Okay, Richards and Ayu in this side. So maybe they'll put some attention for us. But pretty much, if let's say you're thinking about Gavin 29, I think Bowen and Douglas Lewis looking at us and thinking, hey, I am the man for you guys to get in moving forward me. So what's your comment in terms of team of the week? You're on mute.
Douglas Lewis, you got to give him credit, and I think it's always mentioned by content creators, but a lot of times we don't go for him because there's still the perception of him being this holding midfielder who takes penalties. But we've seen that that's, if it hasn't been proven wrong already, it's proven wrong in this game. So we got to give heaps of credit for those who just picked Douglas Lewis over the likes of Neto and Huang. So that's definitely something there. The other thing is Bowen, man. And you got to wonder when you think about it, is one of the reasons because Brentford were tired, had a bit, much more less rest than West Ham because they had the double game? It's something to think about in the future, because Luton didn't have a game. Liverpool didn't have a game, but City did have a game. But it is Manchester City at the end of the day. Yeah. So so you got to something to think about moving forward. Is that going to have an effect with it? That is the cause, and let's not fact that David Moyes, who a lot of rumors saying that his job seemed to be on the line, but then apparently he was offered a new contract, so that may not
Oh,
be the case. Yes, but West Ham have bounced back and bounced back spectacularly. Was the last game of the week on a Monday night, so we'll see. But Bowen shooting himself with a hat trick. The first three goals were all Bowen, and it's you just got to give credit where credit due. And Bowen has decided to throw himself back into the hat. Pick me again. I'm good to go now. So we'll have to see. For the Palace thing, yeah, Richards and are you not our typical FPL picks? So we got to see because we know our favorites like Eze and Olise are still injured. So we don't you want to go to the unpopular picks? I'm not sure, but yeah, credit to those who did. Richards probably not, but maybe would the people have IU? I don't think so either. Yeah, but I just want to mention Havertz. So is Havertz throwing himself into the ring now because he did score more than Saka. Saka's not here. Havertz is. Yeah, but again, he's the least sexy pick for Arsenal. So it's going to be hard for us to pick Havertz. But for those who want a bit of a difference, or have Saka want to double up, Havertz might be your man.
yeah. In terms of result, other that maybe you just mentioned we expect Man City to win big against Bournemouth, but it was not meant to be. Even Foden did not make the cut in midfield because there's a lot of players who scored more than 11 points. The only one who survived from that Man City side is Ederson in goal with 9 points, but we are not going there. Other than that, also there's much attention in terms of Manchester United asset. But however, and then after that, Manchester lost that game against Fulham. A bit like uh, different turn up in terms of Manchester because they continue to be inconsistent. So now with also they are blanking game week 29, most likely people might not go there yet. Okay, but I can say the team that continue to perform is Villa and Arsenal because they keep scoring goals. Aston Villa in top 4 right now, right?
Yeah.
And you got to think that Aston Villa asset is the one that appeal, and they're going to play in game week 10 and someone will touch that later. But those are in the thinking for sure, man.
Yeah, so you talk about Aston Villa being in the top 4, but at the same time you Liverpool, who you don't have a single player, and they're number 1 at the moment. And it doesn't appear here obviously because of the blank game week. So you would think that after this, then we'll see Liverpool assets come to the fore. Yeah, but obviously a lot of people who don't have Salah at the moment. Salah is still injured. We're not sure. We'll have to see what happens there. Yeah, because he is of course the main asset, and the other secondary asset, which is TAA, also currently out. And well, okay, if I have to start rattling the long list of Liverpool players out, we don't know. So we'll have to see. Hopefully, as Liverpool fan, we'll see more, and they will be stepping up as picks in the weeks to come.
Right, man. Let's go to the next topic, of which we want to mention about the fixture. We recap back our stream last week where the game week 26 blank is already over. 27 now is a normal game week with all the team play. Game week 28, may I remind, double for Bournemouth and Luton. But most crucially, I want to update on the game week 29 blank game week. It will be a big blank game week because out of 10 fixture, only 4 fixture will be played in that week, which is we already know about Burnley and Brentford, Fulham and Spurs, and West Ham and Villa before coming to this game week 27 stream. Add on a fixture that we already thought was going to happen because they will be somewhere where the Manchester United against Sheffield United or Luton against Forest is all depending on Forest versus Manchester United result, where the FA Cup, Manchester win that game 1-0, and Luton Town and Forest confirm going to play in game week 29. And you can see, I just take out take some poll from Game Week 20 Football Scout site in terms of Game Week 29 strategy, from 700 plus votes, we can see that people are thinking about free hitting in Game Week 29, around 60% or more, thinking that could be the best strategy in Game Week 29. But not that far away is 34%. Use only the free transfer they're going to have from 27 until 29, maybe 3 transfer, or take some hit for preparation for the Game Week 29. So what's your first reaction for fixture? What's in your mind?
Oh well, when you look at that, then you the first thing in my head with those 4 features is who's your captain, and for that, and the biggest person that stands out is of course Watkins. Yeah. So is there any other player other than Watkins? You got Fulham versus Spurs, but Fulham aren't pushovers, especially at home at Craven Cottage. They're definitely better. So the other alternative is Tony. Yeah. So Ivan Tony against Burnley. So the thing is, you to consider that you have to figure out, are West Ham going to be pushovers, or is their previous match against Brentford an indicator of a return to form? So let's see how the next few matches are there. But the main reason I want to say that is just simply because when it comes to Watkins, most of us already have Watkins, so no issues there. So it's just continuing on and having them there, deciding at that time. So the other thing now is everyone has to look at their squads and seeing, do they have enough players for that, and if they don't, is it worth taking a hit to get to them? So that's something that you need to decide based on each of your teams.
Okay, I just want to share some thoughts because I actually watched some content from others, like burning question, like from the Fantasy Football Scout, early Seb, Andy, and also Flapjack. Okay, all those give input, because I think what I can summarize from other committee also thinking, when you see this 4 fixture confirmed, how many players that you'll be able to fill in Game Week 29, taking into account the 3 transfer that you're going to take. Because something that some teams might have like 3 to 4 players only coming to the Game Week 29, and that's why they feel free hitting is the better option. But Big Man Bakar, I actually read his tweet. I think the comment that people are going to have is around 7 to 8 players without taking any hits coming to this Game Week 29. The 7-8 look maybe not complete fielding 11, but it could also be enough if you got the right player, which is, you mentioned, if you got Tony, maybe his son, maybe Bowen, the key players there, you should be okay. Maybe. What do you think?
Yeah. So it's a case of, if you have those main players, Tony, Watkins, Son, and if Bowen has come back, then yeah, then you may be set. And of course, there are some like me who, like both of us, have Doty from Luton, so that's already also there as available. And of course, Luton will play the double game week in 28 as well. Yeah, so it might be enough. It might be enough, because when you look at that, the standout players that you might want, most people already have, which is Watkins. Yeah, so it's a case of figuring out which Spurs player to pick. Are you going for Son, or or keeping for other Richarlison as the option, or Madison? So you need to figure that out. Are they worth getting in if you're going to take a hit to get to here, or enough to keep with 7 or 8 players? Because when you think about it, you have a lot of teams may have Haaland. That's one. You're not going to sell him. He's going to stay in your team. Foden, you might want to keep as well in your team. Yeah. So you got to see Palmer. Those who have Palmer might want to keep them in their team. So it's a bit hard to have, to be able to sell some of these players just to get to your 11. So yeah, a lot of people are unlikely to go, because one thing is that there's no huge matchup where one will totally dominate the other, based on what I can see right now. So that's the thing. Villa versus West Ham is maybe, but we already have Watkins. So
Still on paper, West Ham can be still a decent side at home, and Villa
exactly.
could actually struggle. So if Burnley and Brentford could be, maybe Brentford gonna win that game, but it's a away game, so you still need to be careful not to overload on those players.
Yep.
And Spurs also playing away, which is can be tricky. So they are not like playing at home. Unless
Yeah.
you believe in Luton, you might double up, triple up. But the recent scoreline, I mean, uh, I'm a bit worried if let's say you want to invest so much. But
Yeah.
the rest of you already have Buckley and Doty, you're already set to come in this game with 29.
Yeah,
That
but
one.
I'm sad. I'm sad, but I'm no longer as happy about it as I was when I first brought them in, because at the time that I
Yeah.
brought them in, they were scoring goals,
Yeah.
multi-teams, four
I,
goals.
I
But
think we get actually the entry point where Luton versus Sheffield United, where we expect Luton gonna
exactly,
do, right.
yeah, and then they just couldn't get through. So that, I've kept my players, which is fine. I'm prepared for this, but it's not a big advantage as I thought it would be. So go figure. Let's see how we go.
Man, just quickly on this topic, we take a look at fixture ticker. Just have a look because it's already updated one in terms of blank game week 29. As you can see, Min, when I saw this, Luton on top of the ticker because they double and they play and they have a game in game week 29. So I can see the appeal if you want to go there, despite Luton has been performing bad. The second one is Bournemouth. They do double in 28. The tricky part, they will blank in 29. And wow, Fulham is somewhere also up there, mate. So you got UOB, at least a representative in Fulham squad, which is good. But Tottenham is also in the top of the ticker, and most likely I can see there's a lot of talk already. I mean, Son could be the transfer that you're gonna make this week. They play at home against Crystal Palace, who they could actually win big potentially. Then yes, away to Villa, but they do have fixture in 29. So I think this could be a good entry point if you want to go ahead with that, because Spurs are going to be the players or the team that you're going to target for that game in
Yeah.
29.
So at the moment, I mean, when I look at that, I'm thinking, are Luton really the best? I mean, in terms of fixtures, and I can't see it because they play Villa, of course, who are a high flying side. The next match is against Crystal Palace, who may be facing a resurgence, and they are playing Crystal Palace at home, at Crystal Palace, So that it's no longer as great a double game week as I thought it could be, and of course Bournemouth, who did manage to hold City to only one goal last game week as well. So it's not as great. I mean, if I were to look at it, I would think that the Fulham matchups look better. Yeah, because in that one they do play Sheffield, they play Forest who lead goals. They play Brighton in 27, and Brighton, let's not forget, they after this week they will start having their Europe matches, and they play midweek. So that's going to be a distraction. So I think Fulham at home could do well there, even though they are less by one match. So Brighton are playing away to Roma, incidentally. So it's, yeah. Um, I mean, it does cause problems for us with Brighton players, but yeah. So other than that, Bournemouth, of course, everyone's looking to Solanke for that double game, but he could be injured. We're not sure. He didn't play midweek in the FA Cup. So let's see what happens there.
Right, man? Just go through about if let's say you're not free hitting in game week 29, maybe you're thinking about getting players with your transfer. Who are you going to target? So I just brought in some players for our conversation, but it should be an obvious one. Okay, in terms of defense, we already talked about last week, man. Talk about Paul Torres, Alex Moreno. Despite they are blanking or even getting minus 1 point, I still feel they are the assets that people are going to target in terms of defense. Other than that, Afidoti, Okay, maybe Luton did not perform, but he could be the key man. He has the highest chances created in that Luton Town team. Okay, and then if Pedro Porro or Udogie fit Spurs versus Fulham, uh, Spurs are attacking side. I think these are the two players that people are going to think when getting any defenders. Other than that, I don't think people are going to go. I'm not sure about Reguilon against Burnley. Maybe, okay, but maybe these are the more popular players that people are going to bring in. In terms of midfield, I think it's self-explanatory. People are going to go for their Luis. If you don't like Luis, you go Leon Bailey. If you like, I think Bowen already Pak Hinsek as the top midfielder that people are going to get. I believe he's the one that people are going to get first. Kudus for Keita maybe to an extent, but after that Bowen hattrick, people definitely said that Bowen is the one that to get. Other than that, cheap enabler, but also the creative person in that Luton Town team, Ross Buckley. You already have him. But Son or Madison or maybe Richardson if his minutes are secured. But I think Son that people are going to think. And then forwards also is clear. Tony Solanke might not play in 29, but because they double, that people want to get him. And then I think this another one, Carlton Morris from Luton Town because they play at home against Forest. But I might miss someone like Awoniyi could actually scored that goal against Luton Town, even though they play away. Maybe I missed that one name, but there could be another potential name that you can target. From here, from this list, maybe you can share which players that most likely people are going to target.
I don't know. The thing is, because obviously because Spurs didn't play last game week.
Yeah.
So
26, right?
Pardon?
Spurs did not play in 26. Means you mean that, right?
So the thing is that the problem is that in game week 25 where they played, they lost to Wolves 2-1. So it's a question now in terms of what's going on with Spurs. Was it just a thing because Son is back and they're trying to adjust back again, and or is that an indicative as well? So it's an issue there. So we need to figure that out. So people might hold on to picking up Spurs and look at the current hot stuff more, which is Bowen, obviously, Solanke because of the double game, so and maybe Ivan Toney, depending. But other than that, the Bailey was talked up a lot by some content creators in leading up to game week 26, only for Lewis to come back and show them who. So it is a challenge to see. And I mean, it still might be Bailey who does well. Obviously the good thing with Bailey, who's no longer have his injury issues. I'm trying to look at this and seeing whether there's any other person who's not on this list to consider, but I can't see anyone. Pedro Porro, but you got Pedro Porro and Torres on the list, but unfortunately they have some injury or another, so I don't know.
Okay.
We don't know.
Fair.
Udogie as well. So because Udogie was also injured, if I remember correctly, so Porro and Udogie missing them in that week where they lost against Wolves, has that severely impacted on Spurs' ability to get sure? Not sure. Let's see what the injury statuses are before we consider bringing him. A lot of people have already sold off Pedro Porro in the lead up to the double game. So let's see whether they're worth bringing them back.
I just want to mention because there are recent news in terms of Solanke potentially injured because he's missing the FA Cup midweek against Leicester. All right.
Yeah.
So we want to monitor that. If let's say he's out, it's going to be a big blow, especially people like me who actually bring in Solanke last week. All right. Other than that, I think they also news about Richardson. Heard that he could actually potentially out because he's not in training, but we will monitor that. Huang looks slightly out, is it? Sounds like it, all right? And also
Yep.
in FPL, did mention about 25% only chances to. It's going to be a blow for people like me who brought Huang in from last week. That what I can say. But we shall wait until the team news tomorrow, okay? And then we shall see where we are in terms of this. But I think the likes of Bowen, the like of Douglas Lewis, and Son, if let's Richardson out, these are the three players, and plus Tony. I think the four players that could be essential for that game with 29. If you have them, I think you
Yes.
almost like covered inside in that game, because these are the key players from each team. That's what I feel.
Yeah. Yeah. So we're gonna have to. Yeah, I mean, a lot of things that when you need to decide by now. Now that the game week 26 blank week is over, you got to decide by now how are you going to tackle that game week 29, whether you're going to free hit or you're going to build it up to it, because it does make a big difference.
All right, I just show you some stats so you can better decide in terms of it. This over the past 6 game weeks in terms of non-penalty XGI, in terms of golf involvement. Watkins on top, so clearly you need to have got Watkins in KB 29 for sure and move forward. Other than that, Tony is still up there in terms of after Watkins 3.65 in terms of goal involvement. So Tony against Burnley, I feel you need to have him in that game with 29 because he could go big against Burnley, and we already know Burnley. I think Burnley is almost going to go down. I feel the two candidates, Sheffield United and Burnley. It's just a matter of which one, the third one, they're going to decide whether they like Luton, Everton, Forest, or maybe Brentford, somewhere there, in terms of that. So, other than that, Bailey and Douglas Lewis, side by side, somewhere there, 3.4, 3.114. Maybe Lewis not that neat, but I feel Lewis on set pieces, on penalty kick, he should be in consideration. What else inside here that I don't know? No Son inside here. Richardson. The Muniz, if you're interested in Fulham, he could be the one that go, but I think that top 3, top 4, the people that you should get me.
Yeah. So you wondering, you got Bowen down there, all the way down there, but is he going to increase and improve? So we'll have to wait and see how that happens. Yeah. So the Bailey Lewis, yeah. So clearly Bailey is still better in terms of stats, although output Douglas Lewis still wins in terms of final actual goal or assist. So it's still it's still Douglas Lewis, who's actually bringing in the points more at the moment. So, but it could be anyone's game. The underlying stats say either one can come out and deliver. I'm just scanning quickly down there. Mope, who scored, but then in the end his involvement is still far less than Tony. Tony, who is everywhere. So if you want to keep, we'll still go for Tony. I just now you're talking about Burnley. I just want to mention Fofana. So if ever there was a pick that you wanted to pick, it might be Fofana, simply because he was brought in January and seems to has made a bit of difference, at least in terms of goal scoring. So maybe is he the a player to pick, but at the moment it's hard to go for them. Yeah, if you want to get a cheapo, you might as well get a Luton player simply because they double. Yeah, so and they double and will play in game week 29.
Yeah.
So if you have access to spare, but I don't think people do have access to spare to bring in.
I think from my list that from my list, I think I missed out some Forest player. If you want to consider Elanga and Gibbs White could potentially the player that you want to get from Forest side if you feel Forest going to get result against Luton.
At the moment, I think it should be. I think it's Awoniyi that should be the one looking at. Of course, he's missing from here because he was absent for quite a while and he's only just returned for injury as well. So now I do think that if there's a player we need to look at from Forest, it would be Awoniyi. I just think that Elanga is too far, compared to Awoniyi, and Gibbs White might be a better option. But I still go for Awoniyi. But of course, he's a striker, so
Yep.
So not Gibbs White is a midfielder.
Quickly, we have a look at game week 27 fixture main. There will be a full fixture,
Yeah.
and the fixture will start. Six matches will start at the same time on
Yes.
11 p.m. Malaysian time. There is no gonna be any early kickoff. As you can see, what matches gonna play in this week starts
Yeah.
with Brentford versus Chelsea. We have Everton versus West Ham. Everton need points, but West Ham also from that recent week against Brentford. High flying now. Fulham versus Brighton, interesting one. Either side could win this game. I feel we have Newcastle versus Wolves.
That's a
Interesting one.
matchup. That's an interesting matchup. Yeah.
Yeah, it's an interesting one because Newcastle, despite they qualify for the FA Cup, they do need to perform better in terms of league. And Wolves are actually in the top table now, somewhere eighth place, I think somewhere there, and maybe better in terms of form from Newcastle. We have Forest versus Liverpool. So Liverpool are back in league matches, but who's going to play? There's another thing that we need to consider. The senior players going to come back. Salah going to come back. If he's back, maybe people also think about getting him. And then we have a London derby, Spurs versus Palace, interesting match. We both are expecting to attack in this game. Then Luton Town away to Villa. Could this be another big week for Watkins? Potentially a captaincy pick for this week. We have then on Sunday Burnley versus Bournemouth, and then we have the Manchester Derby on 11:30 p.m. Sunday, Super Sunday, man. Before we close off on Monday, Sheffield United versus Arsenal. I feel this also another Monday ball game for Arsenal. So, man, what interests you?
Well, pretty much, yeah. Obviously, the Saturday, the fact that there's so many matches on playing starting off at the same time, you got to wonder whether there'll be any team news there that could early team news that could get exploited. So, but of course, when you have that many matches and a lot of people will log in, there's always a danger of that server not being able to handle it. So that's something you just have. It's just something you just going to have to be aware of that risk when you do it. Yeah. So it's something to look at. Newcastle versus Wolves is such an interesting matchup given how well Wolves have done. Can they continue to upset the uppercut they did, and defeat Newcastle so at home? So let's see how that goes. And do we have a slide on the captaincy, Hafiz, or we don't for this one?
Later.
Oh, we
After
do.
this.
Yeah. So because
Yeah.
City, the reason I wanted to talk about that was was just because of that Manchester City Manchester United matchup. A lot of people are still looking at captaining Haaland, but is he the right pick for this one? Because you've got Sheffield United versus Arsenal staring, and Saka is just like, "Hi guys, I'm here." So and that's the matchup that scares me the most because I don't have any Arsenal players right now. So and if I'm bringing in an Arsenal player now, unlike many others already have him, will that that's going to damage my chances of preparing for game week 29 because Arsenal do blank on that game week. So it's hard for players like me who don't have and need to figure it out. The other thing I want to mention is Liverpool versus Forest. A lot of team interest in team news on that one. Who do you want to pick? Because Forest definitely still have issues in defense, but we don't know which Liverpool player is going to be there for the taking and reality is Diaz and Gakpo are just not as sexy as Salah, Jota, and
Darwin.
Darwin. Yeah, so that's the problem with Liverpool. Yeah.
All right, let's take a look at captaincy pick, man. And this is definitely the three person that people are gonna think about it. Although the favorite would definitely be Haaland. After that 5 goals I mentioned in the FA Cup midweek, it will take a brave manager not to captain Haaland this week. Despite I think Manchester United also, if I'm right, I read somewhere or heard somewhere that Haaland already have 2 hat-trick against Manchester United, if I'm right. So
Yeah, you
we
love
can
playing against
remember that. And then Saka is also close. The only between Saka and Watkins is because they are playing away. Could away take into consideration, but their opponent will be the bottom opponents, which is Sheffield United and Luton Town, and we know. Maybe Sheffield United going to be more stubborn at home because Luton has been conceding a lot of goals. Maybe Watkins are more favourite, but Arsenal has blew teams for the past 2-3 matches with 4-5-0, 6-0 scoreline, right? Man.
Yeah, but Sheffield did manage to improve a bit in defense. They held off Wolves by only lost to them by only 1 goal. And I think hang on, I'm just checking. Yeah, but then they did lose 5 goals, concede 5 goals to Brighton at home, Sheffield.
Yep.
So I don't think it's a problem for Arsenal, for those who have Arsenal. So it's mainly just a case of, do I want a captain against Haaland, who loves playing United. So it's a big challenge, and we can see it's quite close. It's almost neck to neck. So let's see how the final stats come up at the end.
Okay, I can see if you captain Watkins, because Watkins going to play on Saturday midnight. Then you need to wait. Haaland going to play on Sunday, and then Saka captaincy. We have the final laugh because they play on Monday. If they say you captain Saka, because you already seen Watkins and Haaland perform, so that's where that can be. But I feel, if that 5 goals in FA Cup he did not score, maybe captaincy swing more to Saka and Watkins. But after that 5 goals, I think people are gonna still go for the safe one, which is Haaland. That's what I feel. Okay.
Yeah, I'm surprised that there's people have picked up Salah, so we don't know whether he'll be back. So let's see.
All right, man. Let's go to our team pick. I think my team first, if I'm right. Yeah. Okay. So I got 6.7 million in the bank and 1 free transfer. Bearing any injury, okay, Dubravka in goal. I think, can I trust Newcastle at home over Areola away to Everton? Maybe I still play Dubravka. I don't know. Okay, I'll play him. I always want to play somewhere at home, but Newcastle has not been good in terms of defense, right?
Yeah.
All right. In defense, I got Ake, Manchester United. I think maybe City can get a clean sheet against Manchester United. Gabriel, and I am confidently going to play Brentford this game week, because Doty home to Villa, I think they're going to concede. Taylor, Bournemouth, for sure I'm not going to play there. And I think Brentford deserve to get that spot in my first 11. So I give his opportunity this week. In midfield, I got Palmer, Foden, Saka, and Richardson. I'm going to bench Huang, Hichan, and most probably Hichan might not be able to play this week anyway, right? And then Watkins, Solanke, and Haaland, and captaincy at Haaland for now. And if let's say, no injury, everything is fit, I think I'm going to roll my transfer, despite maybe people thinking about getting Son in for this week. I still feel Foden could actually go big against Manchester United. He's the key person in that Man City side, and even Pep did mention that. And if let's say I bring in Son, looks likely I'm going to sacrifice Foden or Huang, which I already brought him last week, but I don't think I'm going to do that, right? So I think this is my lineup for now. I hope I can roll my transfer and think next week, because anything can happen from 1 week to 1 week. That's what I feel.
Yeah, I think I don't know, but I do feel that you can wait for Son for now. You can look elsewhere, or if you want to do that role transfer. It's really we face it is the thing with the Spurs game is a London derby, isn't it? It's Spurs versus Crystal Palace. So you got to see with but I just think that I think it's okay to wait 1 week to bring in Son. looking at your team, yeah, you've already got Solanke. So the question is, if you, because just now you assumed everyone was fit. Let's say Solanke and
Not
Hichan was out. Yeah, so because the thing is, you can still play with your bench. You can still roll that transfer. So would you bring in Doty or would you bring in Taylor?
if Solanke is out, man, and Huang most probably are going to be out, maybe I'm going
Yeah.
to force to make that transfer, getting Huang in for Sun, and then Solanke on my bench because I hope he's going to be fit in game week 28, which that I'm going to need him for that double
So
game week.
so
That could
sell
be.
sell Huang and buy Sun.
It could be. It could be the one.
So it's a Korean transaction. So
And people can mention, hey, why you bring Huang? But we just don't know who's going to injure, right? So bad luck. What to
yeah,
do, right?
yeah, that one. I mean, there's no harm in selling a player immediately. It's fine. I don't think we should be beholden to that. So yeah, I mean, yeah, Richarlison. Let's see how he does this week again. But looking at who you have, yeah, definitely that's your best lineup that you can feel because instead of the three substitutes you already have. Haaland captain, is that your current thing right now, or is it
I,
just
I think for I think for now I'm going to go there.
yeah. Okay, all right, good, and appreciate the Brentford pick. Get him. He's your man. He is
Yeah,
your
give
man.
it a chance. Yeah. Let's go to your team, Min. This is your team. You got 5.7 million in the bank and one free transfer.
Okay, so firstly, I'm definitely gonna have Kelleher in place of Dubravka. I just have more confidence, especially after the last few weeks, to play Kelleher. So Pau, if he's injured again, then I guess Doty will have to come in because Estupinian, I just don't know what's going on there. Uh, the and Pau, if I remember correctly, he got substituted at halftime, and
Yeah, yeah,
in
yeah, yeah. You're
yeah.
correct. You're correct.
Whereas and Moreno, he got substituted after he got his yellow card and conceded two goals, so he ended up
Oh,
with a
yeah,
negative
I,
one.
I remember. I think he did not finish 60th minute.
No,
That's
exactly. Yeah, so that's the problem. So let's say I can still afford to bench Pau and bring in Doty because at least I know Doty compared to Estupinian, Doty will start. Estupinian is always that doubt there. So unlike because I have Neto, it's fine. So no issues there. I can feel he will be Neto, Gross, and KDB, Haaland, Watkins, Tony. So captaincy, it is a problem. Uh, I'm veering slightly towards Watkins to be fair. But yeah, I mean that's just
Just
me.
do it, man. Just do it. I don't
So the
think we
pro-
have anything to anything to
yeah, so
worry.
my biggest problem now is KDB. Is what's going on? Is he gonna play? Is he gonna be benched? Because now it looks like he can be sacrificed. Because if is Pep still trying to manage his injury? But I don't think so. I think is past that now. But
Man,
because
I
if he's
think I think KDB gonna play against Manchester United. I don't think Pep gonna take Manchester United lightly. I think he's gonna play his best team.
so that being the case, so then the problem becomes how I'm going to be terrified of that Sheffield United Arsenal game because the last game of the week. Yeah, with no
What to
Arsenal.
do?
So the only thing I can think of to neuter it somewhat is if I sell Pau and bring in a Arsenal player, Arsenal defender. That might be my only option. And even then, I'm not so sure it's enough. Does it make
I think
sense? Yeah.
yeah. I think you roll your transfer because you can replace Doty for Pau, and if they say KDB miss out, Barkley still decent. I feel.
Hmm. Yeah, I might. You're right though. I mean, I might just play the waiting game because the other thing is, I have to hope that Solanke is out for the double, because if he is, I'm sorry, Hafiz, but because if he is fit, then I'm gonna struggle to see who to replace because obviously most
Understand,
people will
understand.
have Haaland, Watkins, and then Solanke is an easy fit. But for me, Tony, I do like Tony. I think he can still do well. Yeah, so it's a problem there for the double game as to who to captain for the double game.
Understand. I think you are much in tougher place when comes to forward lineup, because I think you already have Tony and Watkins set for 29, and
Yeah.
if you want to sacrifice Solanke, it could be Haaland for that game week 28, of which Liverpool versus Man City. But what would you want to do that?
Yeah. I'm not against selling Haaland. So yeah, it is possible.
It could be
That's
right.
yeah. But thanks for the idea on rolling transfer. Again, one thing that I seldom consider, rolling transfer isn't exactly a option for me. But your selling Haaland could have some merit. Who knows? So so it's something to think about.
Yep, yep. But you're in great position if Solanke miss or did not play in game week 28. You'll be in great position.
Yeah.
All right, man. We take some question before we end our stream. Let's go some question. Woohoo! All right. Navaraj asks, who should I bench, Palmer or KDB, given his minutes? It's gonna be tough, one. But I think in terms of minutes, if let's say KDB, not sure. Maybe KDB is the answer. But I do feel KDB can go big this week.
You think so? Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm not sure. I'm really not sure.
Okay. So your answer KDB, I suppose.
Yeah, KDB.
All right. Next question, Son or Bowen? My answer is get them both.
Bowen. Bowen for me.
Okay. Rakan FPL did mention about Richardson injury. We are not sure. Wait until the team news. Correct. All right. Next question, Regulon or Emerson? Both play in game week 29, man.
True, but I have to admit I like the look of Regulon at the moment. I think he is desperate to prove himself, and I think the Emerson goal was a flash in the pan. I'm not likely gonna see that often, but Regulon, his potential for attacking returns is definitely there.
Yeah. Next question, Madison Goodpan. I think he's under radar right now. And if let's say he perform in the next 2 weeks, he could be the differential that people are gonna take.
Yeah, I can't believe we're talking about Madison as a differential, but yeah, I like it. Yeah.
Right. This conversation already discussed, man. Haaland or Saka for captaincy. I think people are going to go for Haaland. But if you dare go for that Arsenal against Sheffield United, you could get a big reward there, right?
Yeah, but yeah, at the moment, yeah, if I were to choose between the two, I'd probably go for Haaland. Home match at the end of the day.
Play Douglas Lewis or Solanke, doubt. I think if you have opportunity, you could play both. Luis actually play away to Luton, which is I think still nice fixture on, man. And Solanke, but playing away to Burnley, which is a good fixture on paper.
Yeah, you just gonna have to see the injury news, because if Solanke is out, definitely not.
There will be no double for Watkins after this. Keep or sell. This term of form. If I'm right, he's the most top scorer player in FPL right now, man. Over Salah, over Haaland.
Yeah, keep Watkins for now. Just continue keeping him. He's in such good form.
Solanke, a season keeper, I think, I'm not sure, because the fixture after that wildcard, maybe but it's still great value if you want to go. You need to decide later whether you go 5 in midfield or 2 or 3 in attacks. So Solanke could be the one, right?
Yeah, could be.
Main question for you, man, because you have at a point Semenyo in your team. What do you think?
No, he's just too inconsistent. Yeah, he doesn't seem to have the thirst to look to score goals. So yeah, definitely not. Yeah, at the moment for Bournemouth, it is only Solanke.
Okay, Bournemouth defense, Kirkus or Zabari. To be frank, I'm still unfamiliar a bit in terms of Bournemouth defense. If I'm right, Zabari has been the better minutes player because has been playing 90 minutes, and Kirkus is not someone that certain in terms of his place, but I feel he's maybe more attacking than Zabai.
I just don't think that Bournemouth the Bournemouth defense is worth it. I
All
don't
right.
see. Yeah, it just doesn't make sense. Yeah, no.
Yeah. The only one that people, if you want to think, is this guy, Senesi. So Rakat IPL did mention want to take a risk on Senesi because if I'm right, he's on 8 yellow cards or 9 yellow cards, and he could potentially suspended in 2 games. I think this is why he mentioned about his concerns.
Yeah. So yeah, I mean that it would have been Tennessee, but the from the last question, but instead, but because of this suspension issue, yeah, I'm just not confident.
Kudus overlooked, maybe because after that Bowen hattrick, I don't think people going to consider Kudus for now.
Um, I don't know. It is a nice dark horse pick. If your team's all solid and you want a potential differential, then Kudus should be the one. But if you already have a few differentials, then no, probably Kudus probably not. Good idea.
Next from Brian Morris for the double. I had him for the double somewhere in Gameweek 7 ke 8, I forgot. But could he be the
No lah,
one?
yeah, but that was disrupted, right? So I yeah, it could be, but yeah, I'm just not confident with Luton right now. I need to see a
Yeah.
bit more. I need to see one this game week before if I want to commit to another Luton player.
All right. Last but not least, I just want to show comment from Racket MPL. He's already cursed Bowen, flop in game week 27 will be Bowen. Don't lah, curse. Please lah. People are going to get him this week,
Haaland.
All right. Just to mention to everyone, don't forget Game Week 26 deadline will be on 9:30 p.m. Malaysian time this Saturday. And if you are watching this stream, do hit the like button to support us and subscribe to our FPL Jedi YouTube channel. And you can receive the notification whenever we are live. Your last word,
Yep, just that because of a lot of midweek matches going on, so definitely we'll be getting some injury updates. You never know what's going to happen, so and wait and see for the press conferences to see what the story is, because I do feel there's definitely can be some impact. Maybe the players who are missing will hurt the players that you are looking to bring in. So yeah, stay tuned for those and watch those.
All right. Thank you guys for joining. Thank you for watching. I'm really excited to see the team news tomorrow because I think after that only you should finalize your team. Don't jump the gun yet because any news could actually change or alter your transfer plan coming to that game week 29 blank game week. Until then, see you again. Sign off. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.